Welcome to Espresso Sessions.
Espresso Sessions. Session. Espresso. I like that. That's good.
You currently loading like a software?
Yeah.
Okay, rewind and start again.
Welcome to Are we say this or not?
You do it.
Let's do it.
No.
Ready?
I'm not going to do it with you. It's not going to go well.
1.
Welcome.
Welcome. That's what you sound like.
Okay.
Just 3, 2, 1. Today's podcast is going to be about burnout.
Introduce yourself, or like?
I'm Yvonne.
And my name's Nick. We're here in Forecast Coffee in Vancouver, one of our favorite spots. And we're talking today about
Burnout.
something that some of us are currently experiencing.
Some of us. But we won't tell you which one.
Let's see if you can determine who it is organically through the course of this episode. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, burnout refers to being a kind of tired you can't rest from overnight.
Yeah.
So creatively...
Well, you can't rest from like in a week, I would say. Because you take like 2 or 3 days off and then you're still just as tired as you were when you started. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I think, when you get a really bad sunburn and then you scratch it too much. And then you just
Google
keep
might provide a
peeling it
better
off.
definition of what burnout is.
No.
than we
I think
can.
these are good definitions. These are from the heart.
Okay.
So have you experienced burnout?
Yeah.
And if you have,
Oh, yeah.
what does it feel like to you?
Like being tired all the fucking time. Yeah, just constantly being tired.
Yeah. And having no, like, reason why you're tired.
Yeah, why am I
Like, no
tired?
particular
Yeah.
reason. Like, wow, I didn't even have that hard of a week. It's just tired.
Accumulative.
Yeah.
I don't really notice my burnout when it's at a low level until I am stopped being burnt out.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, suddenly I have energy. Oh my God, the world's an okay place.
Yeah.
You look outside and there's birds singing and there's like, your neighbors are saying hello. And like, hello world.
I think, yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty accurate description for me. I think that for me it's also 2 degrees seasonal, both because of the rate of our work
I think same.
at Amplier, but also because of the weather.
Yeah, and it sucks that those things kind of align seasonally. Like the weather gets shitty and our work starts to like pick up a whole bunch kind of around the same time.
Which is actually interesting because some people, like more on the event content creation side, their summer season is their hottest season, and they ramp down into the winter and fall, winter, spring.
Fall is so big for events though, because everybody's just like, oh, final hurrah, last bit of summer. Oh God, let's document it.
Totally depends. A lot of big festivals happen in the summer. A lot of big events happen in the summer.
festivals.
So you're going to see a lot more happening there for some people. And some people like guy used to work, helped me found a company, Mickey. He would work full time on content in the summertime, and he would work a 9 to 5 through the winter, through the rest of the year. Because he had that variance in his schedule, and he made that work. And it was great. He loved it. He made the balance work for him. But yeah, for us, I think it's, at least for you, it's definitely a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, my work, usually it takes a break in like July. Like April, May, June are really like balls to the wall, super busy.
Yeah.
July tends to like peter down a little bit. That's weird. And then August, September, October.
What's weird?
No, it's weird that it peters down in July.
Oh, you pointed at a guy and said, that's weird.
That's weird. And I'm like, that's weird. No. Let me say that again.
What was that?
Sorry, it's weird that it peters out in July.
That's weird. Anyway, that's what you did. Just a man or knee
There was somebody going by wearing an outfit, and I said, that's weird. So anyway. My work tends to get really busy in like April, May, June.
Yeah.
And then July kind of peters down a little bit. And then in August, September, October, it climbs right back up again. So I get like a little bit of a plateau break in July, but then the final stretch before November, and November it plummets off a cliff and I don't work again until March, basically. That final stretch of August, September, October is like, by the time it's like right now I have maybe 25 more days of like absolute balls to the walls work, and I love it. It's great to have work. I love it. Keep giving me work. It's fantastic. But oh my God.
I think for me, a lot of it's dealing with burnout on my end has been avoiding that feast or famine, and really investing in prioritizing clients that will give me that consistency.
Yeah.
That's been, I think, my biggest thing to combat that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the same drought and flood cycle.
I definitely have a drought and flood cycle. Yeah. Yeah. Because like November, December, January, so much of a drought, man. I have time to like do other things. I have time to like paint or, you know, run a lot or like, you know, engage in hobbies. Whereas the rest of the time is just, or like, no, like I'll take full days where I'm like, I didn't do any work today. Like,
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
I know, it's wild. Like December, full days when I'm like, I didn't even touch the computer.
So that's something that we experience too on the B2B end, because nobody, for example, we don't do any lead generation after November. Like when it comes to signing new deals, for a bunch of reasons, we just don't do that, right? Setting up shoots, again, same thing. November, December, rarely am I doing new big shoots. No one wants to do the work. No one wants to actually build, like, get us to start doing that.
And everyone's putting it aside until like January, February, when they get like the, oh, new year, new me. Everybody gets like revitalized from that, which I get revitalized
for
from.
us, it's more when we're talking about B2B businesses, do they really want to be embarking on a new product, new ad campaign later than October, November? Because
Right before Christmas, everybody's spending money already.
And they got the retail thing going on. So if we're doing something to support a retail benefit, we're going to retail campaign, we're going to do that in November or October. We're not going to be doing that in December, right? We've done that content already. So, and then January, February, when we're getting paid for work done in December, is for a lot of retail businesses the slowest time of year. So we don't really have, that's, I guess, our quieter season is going to be that, because we don't have any new clients coming on board. But instead we have our existing clients continuing from there. And that's, I think, a little bit different of a situation that we have to deal with. I'm okay with that. It gives me time to go in December and take vacation in December. And I also take vacation in August for the same reason, because it would also be like, no one wants to make new deals in August. Everyone's on summer vacation, or at least they're thinking about summer.
Yeah, like trying to eke out the last little bit of summer.
So for like 3 years in a row, I would take vacation in August and in like early August, before the back to school
Early
start.
August is the place, yeah.
Early August, like the lull of summer. And then I'd also do the same thing again out in December as well.
See, I don't time my downtime very well, because I usually have, like, I'll go on a big trip in like January, February, something like that. But that's kind of after I've already recovered from the burnout. So it's like the burnout, and then, you know, the December period where I'm recovering from burnout, ideally, and then the January, February period where I'm like still not working, because it's like work is still dead, so I'm gonna go and travel. But as a result, then it's like I still need that full month to recover from burnout, which has been the last 3 years in a row. It's taken like, literally a full month of just like being extremely chill, which is not good for my other projects. You know, like I do YouTube, and my YouTube channel, on the YouTube that I do, is Yvonne Hanson, or Y Hanson Photography. So if you look that up, but I mean, trying to manage burnout, like it's easy to just like not do any more advertisements and not take clients for a little while, coast off the money that I made in the fall. Yeah. But YouTube needs to stay consistent, so I can't just like take a break from that ever.
Why don't you just front load why don't you consider front loading your content?
It takes so much work to do each video that I have never had enough spare time to get 2 videos out in a week.
This is might be like my beef with your YouTube, just because I know the toll it takes on you. CGP Grey, who's CGP Grey, massive creator, American guy based in London, talks about how, like, watch hours wise, his YouTube videos have more watch hours than anything else he makes. But his podcast is where he does most of, like, his more fun for him. And he's talking about, like, the amount of time it takes to make 1 hour of viewable content from his main YouTube channel is like, I guess, like 20 hours of work, like 1 hour YouTube, ridiculous, something like that, like really, really high. And his like podcast is like 1-to-1, so it's like way more efficient. And I feel like you're kind of in that spot where it's like so hard to make the high quality videos that you do. You make really cool videos. It takes so much work and effort to do them.
Yeah, but that work, it's not just for the video, right? Like I think the video makes me a better photographer, and then I'm constantly researching like new methods of creating, new gear, constantly thinking about photography in a way that is beyond just like pretty picture looks nice, you know. And so I consider it, in a lot of cases, I consider it to be like research and development
for
of my own skills, and then sharing that information with my audience.
It's if you're working for a company, professional development time. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's professional development time as much as it is content development time, which is great. But I mean, there are definitely times in my life when I'm like, I don't actually want to think about photography at all, and now I have to sit down and think about it for at least 18 hours a week, which doesn't seem like a huge commitment,
but like, a lot. That's a part-time job.
It's a part-time job. Yeah. It's about 18 hours a week.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I have that in me. I'm really struggling to, as you know, we've been on this project now for a year, working on these podcasts and this iteration. And there's been some changes with the equipment we use and the approach we've taken and some development. So some episodes I never see light of day because they just, more than a year actually, it's been July of last year we started this. And we haven't actually posted any yet. And there's a bunch of reasons for that on my end, but it's indicative of why I don't have the patience you do or the time you do, because I just could not spend 18 hours on a side project.
It's not a side project.
Okay, I don't mean that in a diminutive way. I'm saying that, you know, compared to what puts money on the table, bread on the table for you, which is like take pictures of people for a living. YouTube is secondary to that.
No, and I definitely wish that I was driven a little bit more by what puts money on the table, but I'm not.
That's okay.
In the sense that I will 100% like prioritize things that take way more of my energy than they give me financially in return. But I'm getting something else in return from them. YouTube, I definitely don't get. Gratification, yeah, I guess, or you know, I don't know what emotion I get from. I don't think it's validation because I'm pretty validated. Like I'm a pretty fantastic photographer. I don't need YouTubers to tell me that, but.
So you know, all photographers like pilots are modest.
Oh yeah, I'm very modest. If you saw my photography, you'd know I'm being modest when I say I'm fantastic. Sorry.
I think that kind of goes against the whole modesty.
No, I'm just saying I'm still understating my skill when I say it's fantastic.
It's like that whole bit about pilots. How do you know you met a pilot? They'll tell you. That's what it kind of feels like with you.
Wait, are pilots actually not modest?
Oh, fuck, they're terrible.
Well, they shouldn't be modest. I mean, they're fine.
Hey, Salal.
Hi, Salal. You shouldn't be modest. Especially if you're a good pilot. If you're a bad pilot, be modest.
I think Saul's probably the only pilot I know who doesn't lead with that in conversation.
Yeah, true, actually. True. And when they walk through the airport, like the aura, you can almost sense them coming before you see them. You're like, oh, there's a pilot. And then they come with their clicky-clacky shoes. Yeah, that's good.
It would be, I think there's an interesting conversation to have there. We talk about people like pilots or paramedics, for example, or people that work like 4 days a week and then they get 4 days off, or they have a schedule that's a little bit lopsided where they work really long days and they get really long time off. It would be an interesting way to avoid burnout in the sense that you can then shut completely off from your work and then you can do something else.
That would be great. I just have this like part of my brain that's constantly feeling like I'm wasting time.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, if I'm resting, I'm thinking really hard about how rested I'm gonna be, and I'm like, okay, let's super hypercharge my rest right now. I'm only gonna rest for 2 hours, but I'll get like 8 hours worth of rest in this 2 hours. We're gonna do a face mask, and we're gonna go in the bath, and then we're gonna listen to music, and then it'll be over, and then we don't need to rest anymore, and then I can get back to doing stuff. And if I rest for longer than that,
what she said.
Sorry, yeah. Then if I rest for longer than that, it's like, oh my God, I'm eating into my other schedule for this other thing that I need to do, and now I've got like 20 people that I need to apologize to, and
I hear that
these people looking for photos, and those people looking for videos. And
yeah, I hear that so much. Is that something you've been able to conquer, or is that still something you face and deal with?
Oh, it's something I face. Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely can't. I have not conquered the causes of burnout. I would love to. I have not.
For me, I think I'm a little bit past that step, in the sense that, first of all, I'm not, I think, like you or other people, like Ark and Paul, a good friend of mine, also someone who talked in the podcast, who eats, sleeps, and breathes creating stuff. In the sense that I don't. I have other things. And that's not because I want to do other things, it's because I want to be able to be better at creating. And to do that, it means I need to have that distance.
Now that makes sense.
So for me, that distance is created with pursuits that engage me in such a way that I do not have the ability or the time or the mental capacity to think about creating stuff. So my rest, for example, is for the most part, is video games. I'm not someone who's like, my personality is video games.
Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Modern Warfare, Black Ops.
It's pretty stressful, those games, like particularly Call of Duty. I've noticed that, because I have a Garmin, so it tells me how I'm stressed and how my heart rate changes and so on. I've noticed that if I'm playing like a first-person shooter game, I'm pretty stressed out. I'm pretty stressy.
Oh wow.
But if I'm playing like Forza, which is like an arcadey, like driving racing game, I can sit there and put some music on and hang out. And I'm separated from creating something. Whereas if I'm scanning film even, I'm thinking about, I don't know if I like that photo or not. Or if I'm editing photos for myself personally, that still occasionally fits into feeling like work.
Yeah.
So I cook, cycle. Cycling's good too because unlike going to the gym, I don't have time to think about anything else. I'm fucking risking my life on this little tiny bicycle going down a hill somewhere. I don't have time to be like, man, that photo shoot next week. I don't have that. So I have pursuits that engage me in such a way. When I play video games, for example, I'm playing a video game and I'm watching something in the background at the same time. Those two things are enough to shut my brain off from work, from creating anything, from work, from meetings, whatever. It can shut me off.
Well, so this is something that I'm trying to, because like, yeah, part of my like how I cope with not working is just absolutely blasting my brain through so much stimulus that I can't think about work.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to get over that. I'm trying to have internal monologue time where I just don't listen to anything, don't do anything. I'm literally just resting, and I'm letting that kind of foster my creativity. And maybe I'm going out and I'm going for a walk or something.
Yeah.
Or like, when I go to the gym, I don't bring my headphones. I just try to like be in the moment.
Is it better for you to not have your headphones in the gym? Because to me, that's the opposite. Then I'm going to start thinking about like business. I'm going to be like, man, I got meeting next
that's
week.
why I want to give my brain time to think about stuff. Because either I'm thinking about work or I'm blasting my head full of so much stimulus that I can't think about work. I don't have any room for like,
For Yvonne time.
Yvonne time. So I'm trying to create room. And that's been like the last month is like trying to create more room in my life for constructive thought that is not related to work. Which is working to an extent. It's a goal.
It doesn't sound like it's
A
working when
long-term
you say
goal.
it that way.
It's a goal. I've got goals. I don't know. I've got a few goals going into 2026. I know we're still like in the last quarter of 2025, but I'm already thinking about like
Same.
new year, new me. A few goals going into 2026, and the first one is to like prioritize my work as an artist over my work as a business person.
Aren't you already doing that?
Pardon?
Aren't you already doing that?
No. That's, I think, part of the cause of burnout too. No, I know. Because like, right now, I'll take so many jobs that I don't like because they're paying me money. And I'm like, you know what, maybe I could make less money, but be doing way less work. And there was a job recently that I think I was telling you about in Toronto, where I was already making such a low amount, and the client was like, how about instead of paying you this low amount that you agreed to, I pay you an even lower amount that's almost half what you agreed to. Going into 2026, I really want to start prioritizing my work as an artist over my work as a business person. And what I mean by that is like, as a business person, I'm like taking so many jobs that I don't like just to make money, right? And it's like, I had a gig recently in Toronto where I was taking such a low pay for the amount of work. And as we're shooting, I'm just like agreeing to do more work and more work and more work throughout the entire shoot. And then after the shoot, there were some things that had gone wrong with it that were on the client's end, 100% not on my end. And the client was like, okay, so to minimize losses, because we can't, the models didn't fit the clothes, there's some issue. To minimize losses, can I pay you half of what I agreed to pay you for the same amount of work?
No, hold on. I want to point out really quick, by the way, to those of you who might think that sounds reasonable, I want you to go to your hairstylist or your plumber or your lawyer and say, hey, you know what? Haircut, it's not really feeling the haircut.
What if I just didn't pay you for it?
I know you're only halfway through the haircut, but before you do this half of the haircut, could you just charge me half as much? Do you mind? Just kind of cutting that deliverable. Actually, could I pay you in clothes?
Could I pay you in clothes? Is like
Could I pay? Do you mind? I know it's a haircut, but you're only halfway through. I'm not really feeling it. Just
and I have all these extra clothes from this shoot, so can I just give those to you?
Give those to you, yeah.
And then that could be your payment for the haircut.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was curious. That doesn't work, by the way, if you're a plumber or anybody.
It doesn't make any sense.
But only photographers, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not a big P photographer anymore. I have other things that I do. Is partially because I really don't think that's an appropriate thing to be asked to do.
Anyway,
It's my biggest pet peeve. That is being asked for work for exposure.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Or hey, if you ever need a model, no. I don't, actually. No. I'm good. I have lots of clients who pay me to take photos of them. I don't need any like random people from Instagram who want me to take photos for free. Anyway,
moving on.
So, and I had this moment where I was like, oh my God, I can get out of this. I don't have to do this amount of work that I agreed to do for like basically pennies. I can just like walk away right now and not have to like edit all of these reels and edit hundreds of photos and do all of this retouching that I've already agreed to do. I'm just gonna walk away. And I walked away and I didn't do any of it and I didn't get paid and I was so happy. I had a day where I was just like, I was so light. And it's because I had prioritized the business of it so much that I was like assigning all of this extra work to myself just to make like this very
Make
small
the deal
sum
work.
of money.
Make a deal work.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Going into 2026, I'm not going to do that because I actually am not so incredibly desperate for money that I will sign up for like an entire week's worth of work for one day's wages. I actually don't need to do that.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that I think I spoke to you about privately when we were talking about this client a few weeks ago was you, and I think this fits in the burnout conversation really well. Some clients are needing a content creator for a reason. And that reason is that the other one was either fired by them because they might be unreasonable or they had a bad content creator, or because they're unreasonable.
Yeah.
So I've had a similar experience with a very large business here in Vancouver that was actually they're one of a kind, so I can't indicate to you what they are, but they had reached out to us and we did a shoot for them, and the client was so unclear with what he wanted, so difficult to work with, and essentially blamed us for everything that happened after that, was very, very unhappy, refused to pay for the edited video from this shoot, because as soon as they saw it, instead of having any changes, they said, you know what, threw up, hands up in the air, get away from us, essentially. That's what they'd said. That it made me realize why they needed us, even though they're a big, mature company with millions of dollars in the bank, because that was how they were approaching their content creation in a way that was, and the same thing with your client, what you mentioned, this is an established brand. It wasn't his first time doing a photo shoot.
It was. I mean, all of the other photos on his website are AI.
Oh.
And I thought it's just because he hadn't gotten around to hiring a photographer.
He didn't know any better.
Yeah, it turns out maybe he has hired photographers before, but like hasn't been able to get it together to actually make it work. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that kind of client is a leading cause of burnout, at least
That's
for
what I was
me.
thinking. That's what I was segueing.
Yeah, usually. And like last year, when I was traveling in September, I had my rate priced really low, and I got a ton of work at that rate, and it was fantastic. But the amount of work that I did to make the very small sum of money, it burnt me out so hard, because after all of this, after flying around and dealing with all of these people, and then doing 25 photo shoots, and then at the end of the month I had made maybe double what I made the month before. I was like, this is not a good use of my time, and I should have learned then. But I think it took being screwed over by this client in Toronto recently to really be like, you know what, I am an artist. I'm just going to charge my art as an artist, and if somebody can't afford it, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. Not for me.
Ultimately,
I don't want to bend over backwards to make it work.
Yeah, it's not your responsibility to bend every project. I think that, example in the marketing side is a company we work with. Shout out to Andrea Glow Media. And I was talking to her about creating decks. She's like, well, if you don't know who I am, who we are, you need to get us to create you a deck. I don't want to work with you. And she said that, we talked about it a bit later, and she explained this because if you need to be explained who we are, what our history is, what we've done before, it means we might have to fight you on price. I have to fight you on all these other angles around working for that client, and she's not interested in doing that. She has enough clients, she doesn't want to fight for work like that. I think that's something that echoed by another friend of mine and someone who's on the podcast, Jordan, in the same kind of boat, where if you can't afford his numbers, go, that's fine. There are plenty of people you can work with. Don't mind me. If you want what I've created, his attitude is, you can pay me what I'm worth. If you don't, then that's okay. It's a very different attitude, and probably one that I know Jordan still has burnout. I think we all do, but I think his approach to that, I think, is very healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather get burnout because I'm creating too much
stuff that you like.
Yeah, doing too much stuff that I like, than having burnout because I'm dealing with just the most stingy, worst people who don't appreciate my art at all and are consistently undervaluing me and then begging me to undervalue myself. That's the stuff that over time I'm just like, oh my god.
No, I couldn't do that, and that's really why I have, outside of my retainer clients, broadly I have 2 photo clients. I mean, they're groups of companies, but I have 2 purely photo clients. And I work really hard to keep them happy, I work really hard for them, but I don't have a big rush to expand that. I don't really have a will to. I think in that construct, in that confine, I feel validated, I feel gratified from that work. I don't need any more, and I think that's maybe why I don't have the same burnout that you're...
Yeah.
I've burned out from different things, but not from the photography.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, on the flip side, I don't want to just complain about people. I have one client who hires me very frequently, and on this day, well, the morning I got this message from the client being like, this terrible client in Toronto, can we pay you half of what we agreed to pay you for all the same amount of work? And then I had another message in my DMs from one of my favorite clients, and it was like, oh my God, Yvonne, the photos are fantastic. We love them. We're going to submit them all these magazines. Like, you've done the best work you've ever done. And I'm like, man, this is like night and day. Like, this is like you have like two paths stretching in opposite directions. And it's like one path is consistently undervaluing yourself and being really disappointed by your creative outlooks. And the other is like finding people who value you as an artist and leaning into creating with them and for them. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take that path. Like, it made it so easy because I was able to like juxtapose how I am being treated versus how I would like to be treated.
In the same day.
I don't in the same day. No, like back to back, like messages in my DMs were like stacked on top of each other. And I don't know, like doing that kind of fun creative work. Like, there's less clients for it, but it's so much more rewarding. That I don't know. I would love to spend a lot more of my time trying to get more of that kind of work and just making it for myself.
I think that's doable. I think with some focused attention, I think that's very doable.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Well, we'll see.
What's that?
Well, I said, well, we'll see. But
I think there's always going to be an amount of things we have to do to balance out the fact that we're working in a space that is creative. I mean, even for work I do that I choose to do, I don't farm out somebody else, but I choose to do. Something I don't want to do. But for me at least, I'm thankful that I have the ability to work in a creative space and get paid something other people do as a hobby. So I think that for me, I'm watering down that feeling sometimes with some gratitude. Even if I'm kind of annoyed at something, I'm still like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty. At least, and I like doing retail or fighting somebody over the cost of a latte or something.
Yeah,
like, and I've done customer service and I definitely get burnt out from that as well. Like way faster.
I haven't, but I look at it and I get bummed out. I don't even know what it's like really, and I get bummed out about it.
Oh, it sucks. But the good thing about doing customer service is that you can walk away. You go home and you're off. You're off for like 12 more hours.
You can do that too. You can find a way
to
do that
too. I can do that too. Or I could like find all these mental tricks to help me overcome burnout.
Physical changes to your life.
Yeah, physical change. I mean, you did a really good thing where you take Sundays off, right?
Yeah, I've been able to successfully take Sundays off and most Saturdays till recently. Till one of our clients opened up a coffee shop. I need to be there like on the spot, Johnny on the spot, every Saturday, almost every day for a while.
Yeah.
I've been able to take Sundays off consistently. I don't work. If I want to do work on Sundays, that's great. Call somebody else.
That's really good. I'm jealous of that. And you enforce that really well.
I'm pretty conservative. I'm pretty serious about that. I think also it's because as someone who owns a company, I'm not going to ask someone else, Saturday is one thing, to work on a Sunday. I don't think I've sent anyone on my team to work on a Sunday in upwards of like 2 years.
Good.
Nice. I'm just like, no, we're not doing that on Sunday. And I don't think I've had much pushback from clients about that. Most clients are pretty much like,
yeah, that makes sense.
We'll work till next week then, or we'll do Monday or something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. Yeah. But also, Sunday is just a tough day to create something. No one wants to be there, for the most part. You can't rent anything. You can't buy something. So you're really, it's challenging. It's challenging.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that's a good way to implement it. I don't know.
And on that note, thank you.
Yeah.
This might be the first Yvonne episode to come out. We'll see.
Good.
It's the first
well,
one.
I'm glad your introduction to me is me being tired and complaining.
Yeah.
Watch my YouTube channel.
Thank you.
No problem.
We'll see you soon.
Nice chatting with you.